Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we talk about the best horror movies right now on HBO Max. And with that, let's get to the list. Welcome to Derry is a 2025 supernatural horror series developed by Andy Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, and Jason Fuchs. It stars Bill Skarsgård, Taylor Page, and Madeline Stowe. It will follow the events in 1962, the time leading up to the events from the first film in 1989. That's adapted from the Stephen King It novel. So this comes out on October 26th. I haven't got to see it yet either, so I am really excited about this. I love that they're bringing back the team that was involved in making the movies, because if they didn't bring those people back, it's hard to say how good this could have been. But the fact that we know Andy Muschietti is behind it, and then they also are bringing Bill Skarsgård back to be Pennywise again, I mean, I'm sold. Just from the trailer, it looks so much fun and very much looks like the movies. It looks like they put the money and time and everything into this to make it a really legit property. So I am so excited for this series. I don't usually talk about series very much, and especially ones that I haven't seen yet, but this one looks like a must-see. So I just wanted to kick this off this week by letting you guys know, hey, keep an eye out for this. It comes out on October 26th, so watch along with me because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The Mummy is a 1959 British horror movie. Directed by Terence Fisher, it stars Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and Yvonne Furneaux. In 1895, British archaeologists find and open the tomb of Egyptian Princess Anaka, with nefarious consequences.
Go now. Go and destroy those who desecrated the tomb of our princess.
So I watched this for the first time in many, many years last night. And I always thought fondly of this. I always definitely thought of this as maybe the definitive Mummy movie. Either way, it's super, super good. I mean, besides the Brendan Fraser one, of course. But that's more of a fun, action-y kind of movie. It's not really what I think of as a horror movie. But I was really surprised at how good this is, how well it still holds up. Because for me, as far as horror goes, this is still by far the best Mummy horror movie. Because even the original Universal Mummy movie, it's like we wanted a mummy running around killing people and all that, but if you rewatch it and you pay attention, it's actually kind of slow. There isn't a lot of killing that goes on, and there definitely isn't much mummy at all. But this one is the opposite of that. There is a mummy that looks creepy. It's really cool looking, running around killing people. And of course, it's Christopher Lee, so that's even cooler. I mean, who else could be a more badass mummy than Christopher Lee? But then you also have Peter Cushing and Yvonne Furneaux, who are great in this as well. It's just a well-written, well-done, well-shot, unique, and fun mummy horror movie that's got the creepiness. It's got all those things. Yes, it's a classic. I'm not saying it's actually scary to a modern sensibility of what horror is, but if you're someone like me that loves the classics, this is such a good movie, and definitely one that's a fantastic pick for the spooky season. The Substance is a 2024 body horror movie. Co-produced, written, and directed by Courtney Farjah. It stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. A fading celebrity decides to use a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself.
One single injection unlocks your DNA and will release another version of yourself.
If you've been watching this channel the last year or so, you know how much of a fan of this I am. it is definitely my favorite movie from last year. When I did the top 10 at the end of the year, I had just seen Nosferatu, and so I edged out The Substance with Nosferatu as my number one. But even a few weeks later, I was already saying The Substance was my number one. And if I could reshoot that video and re-rank them, there's no question The Substance would be my number one pick. It's just so imaginative, so creative, but also so prevalent in the world we're in right now with people using Ozempic to get thinner and whatever, drug they can think of or anything you could think of to make yourself look younger, better, whatever. People are doing it. I mean, that is what we see on TikTok like crazy. It's a rampant thing out there. But it's also cleverly written. It's really gross and uncomfortable. The body horror is fantastic. It is so well done. The best practical body horror I've seen in anything in a very long time. Everything about this was top notch. And yes, it did win the Academy Award for Best Hair and Makeup, which basically is special effects because that's kind of the only category they have for, practical makeup special effects. But I still would have liked to have seen Demi Moore win the Oscar for her performance. Beyond that, the movie itself, I really think should have won the Oscar, but that is neither here nor there. Either way, I think this is one of the most imaginative, well-done, creative horror movies we've had in quite a while. And without a doubt, if you've yet to see this, do yourself a favor and make this the next thing that you watch.
You gotta be kidding me.
Trick or Treat is a 2007 anthology horror movie, written and directed by Michael Dougherty. It stars Dylan Baker, Anna Paquin, and Brian Cox. The movie follows 5 Halloween stories: a principal's secret life, a virgin looking for her first time, a group of kids pull a prank, a woman who loathes Halloween, and a mean old man who meets a demonic trick-or-treater.
Shh, be quiet.
Why?
You'll bother the neighbors.
Okay.
So for God's sake, who has not seen this movie at this point? It is really, at least in my opinion, and I think in a lot of others, it is the quintessential Halloween themed movie. It is so much fun. I'm not saying it's the best or whatever, because there's a lot of other movies like the original Halloween, but as far as a movie that's Halloween themed and is fun and yet still horror and has all the different things that you want, especially when it comes to festive, something that's just drenched in the Halloween theme, Trick or Treat is as good as it possibly can be. And we've heard rumors for many years that they were going to make a sequel to this. Who knows if they ever will? I know every year or so you hear Dougherty come out and talk about that he has a script and he's looking for financing and all that. So I don't know what the holdup is, because I can't imagine he would have too much trouble getting funds to make a sequel to this, because this movie is about as big of a cult favorite as there is out there. I mean, you can't go to a Spirit Halloween without seeing tons and tons of merchandising from this movie. But I just love it. Everything about it, I wouldn't change anything. It is one of my favorite movies, definitely ever, and especially when it comes to holiday themed horror, I think this is the best one there is. But if for whatever reason you've never seen this, or if it's been a while, absolutely put this one on your Halloween watch list. House of Wax is a 1953 mystery horror movie directed by Andre de Toth. It stars Vincent Price, Carolyn Jones, and Frank Lovejoy. An associate burns down a wax museum with the owner inside, but he survives only to become vengeful and murderous.
A figure in wax, Mr. Jarrett's greatest work.
More than wax. She lived.
You mean I look like she did?
Exactly as she did. Perhaps you will help me to bring her back.
This is one of my favorite performances from Vincent Price. He is incredible in this and so much fun to watch. I mean, I enjoy him in everything he's in, but this one, he's just got this wild, over-the-top zaniness about him because he gets to play this this real villain that's kind of lost his marbles a little bit. But I just love the look of this movie, the style of it. There's such a creepiness about the wax museum and the figures and the way they're melting in different scenes, and just the cool stuff that this movie does, aesthetically especially. But it also has a fun mystery quality to it, because there is an element of who is who and who is doing what and just how it all plays out. It's just one of those timeless classics that I think flies under the radar a little bit and deserves much more attention than it gets. So if you've never seen this one, I think it's absolutely worth your time.
We can bring her back.
Bring Her Back is a 2025 Australian horror movie. Written and directed by Danny and Michael Philippou. It stars Sally Hawkins, Misha Hayward, and Jonah Wren Phillips. A brother and sister uncover a terrifying ritual in the secluded home of their new foster mother.
Oliver lost his family just like you guys. Needed someone that could give him special care.
This really is up there as far as one of the best this year. I don't know where it'll exactly rank in my top 10, but it is definitely in my top 10. It is so unnerving, so creepy, incredibly well shot, so well written. The cast is amazing in this, especially Sally Hawkins, who just blew me away with this performance. But this is moody and atmospheric. It's also really terrifying and creepy as all hell. But it is a little bit of a slow burn, and it is very artsy in the way that it's done. It is an A24 movie, and like most A24 movies, there is at least an element of that art house feel. And so because of that, it just might not work for everyone, because you have to have a little bit of a patience to watch movies like this, because it's more about the dread that's built than it is necessarily the scares. But I just think this movie is incredible, and if you've yet to see it, it's one that I highly recommend. Sinners is a 2025 horror movie, written, directed, and produced by Ryan Coogler. It stars Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, and Jack O'Connell. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them home. So I've talked about this quite a few times on the channel, and everybody else and their mother has talked about it. It blew people away, and it made so much more money than anyone had any idea it would. It's just been one of the biggest success stories of this year. But I've also heard quite a few people that were disappointed in it. They heard the hype, they went in hearing different people go on and on about how amazing it was, and they were disappointed. I think a lot of that comes down to people that went into it expecting a super scary horror movie came away feeling a little bit let down, because this is not a super scary horror movie, and the vampire element in it is only kind of in that final act. For the most part, this movie is about a lot of other things. And so if you're just wanting something scary, this is not necessarily going to be your cup of tea. But if you're a fan of well-rounded movies that are artistic, creative, interesting, well-written, with phenomenal acting, the storytelling in this is just absolutely phenomenal. The direction of it and the way it looks overall is incredible. Just everything about it as far as a movie goes is just top notch. But you just got to keep that in mind going into it, that if you're wanting just something spooky and creepy for the Halloween season, something that'll scare you or whatever, this is probably not the right pick. But if you want a well-rounded movie that does have creepiness, does have some scary elements, but for the most part is just a really good movie, entertaining, dramatic, all those things, definitely give this one a look.
They like you.
Talk Talk to Me is a 2022 Australian horror movie, co-written and directed by Danny and Michael Philippou in their feature directorial debut. It stars Sophie Wilde, Alexander Jensen, and Joe Bird. When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces.
Talk to me.
So this was the debut film for the Philippou brothers, who now, I mean, like I said earlier with Bring Her Back, I mean, they're killing it. 2 for 2 in my opinion. But this was their first film. Before this, they were only known as YouTubers for their channel Raka Raka, which was very successful at making these short movie skits that were kind of humor based, but just creative, but in a real DIY kind of way. And so when this came out, it just blew everybody away, because this is not the level you expect from these so-called YouTubers. But I think this movie is incredible. It is so disturbing, so eerie and uncomfortable. There are so many interesting elements to it, and especially the way that it kind of shows addiction to drugs and things like that, and experimentation with drugs. But instead of drugs, it uses this embalmed hand as like a surrogate for that. It's such a creative way to tell a story. But the performances here, especially Sophie Wilde, are really, really good as well. She impressed the hell out of me with this role. And I do think this is a little more fun of a watch than Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back is much more full of dread and makes you super uncomfortable. It's really dark and bleak. Whereas this one is still dark and uncomfortable and disturbing and all of those things, but there is an element of fun to it, because it is these teens kind of using a party drug that instead of a drug, it's this embalmed hand, but there is that element to it. And so I think because of that, this is a little more of an entertaining watch. But I personally think it's just as good. But I just wanted to let you guys know, because there are still some people out there, I'm sure, that have yet to see this. And so if you have an HBO Max account right now, now is a perfect time to check it out. Heretic is a 2024 psychological horror movie, written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. It stars Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East. 2 young religious women are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the home of a strange man.
We just need to go home.
I won't keep you if you wish to leave. But I want you to choose which door to go through based on your faith.
I love this movie. And there was quite a bit of buzz around this last year when it came out. But it's kind of faded away, and I get it, because since it came out, there's been so many other amazing movies. But I think this one deserves more love, more attention, and more buzz that needs to carry on besides just that one little, blink from last year. But it was overshadowed by The Substance and then Nosferatu that came out like right after this. And so I think that's a lot of the reason why. But this is such a fun psychological mystery, supernatural, weird movie. And the performances alone are worth seeing this. I mean, Hugh Grant is amazing in this. He plays this weird villain and the most creative, interesting way. He's just so much fun to watch. But then you also have a great performance from Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East. Both of them carry chunks of this movie and do a phenomenal job with it. But if you're not aware, the guys that did this are the same people that gave us the movie Haunt. If you don't know that movie, it's one of my favorite Halloween time of year movies, so definitely check that one out as well. But if you're a fan of that movie and have yet to see this one, definitely put this one on your radar, because I think as much as this is a thinking kind of movie, there's a lot of, thriller, thinking, mystery kind of qualities to it. It's also a lot of fun, because there's this real cat and mouse psychological game that Hugh Grant plays with these 2 young girls. And the dialogue and back and forth that goes on in this is just so entertaining to see. So I think this movie's fantastic. It's absolutely one of my favorites from last year. And if you've yet to see it for whatever reason, I think it's one you definitely should add to your list.
Maybe that's not actually coming for our family. Because that would be crazy.
Good luck.
Final Destination Bloodlines is a 2025 supernatural horror movie, directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein. It stars Breck Basinger, Theo Briines, and Richard Harmon. Plagued by reoccurring violent nightmares, a college student returns to her hometown to find the one person who can break the cycle, to save her family from the horrific fate that inevitably awaits them.
Death is coming for our family.
So I'm just gonna assume you've already seen this. I mean, with the box office numbers that this movie put up, most horror fans went out and saw this in theaters. But this is a fantastic rewatch. I've seen it 3 times. It's so much fun on a rewatch because of all the kills and the chain reactions and all those things that lead into that. It's just a very entertaining, fun movie. And I think especially during this month of October, if you have parties or things like that, this is a fantastic movie to kind of have on in the background. Just in general, it's a fun movie to kind of have friends over and have some beers and watch. It's just an entertaining movie that doesn't take itself too serious. There's tons of gore, enjoyable humor, the different set design and special effects, because there's a lot of practical effects in this. It's not all CGI, even though I've heard people throw that around. There's actually a lot of practical effects that were done in this. All of it, though, is really entertaining and well done. Beyond that, to get to say goodbye to Candyman himself, Tony Todd, and the way he gets to have his moment send off is so good in this. And the fact that he basically was able to say whatever he wanted and how powerful of a message he has for the audience, for the fans in this. It's a truly incredible moment that I will never forget. It is such a cool part of this movie. But just in general, I think this is the most fun horror movie we've had this year. It's so incredibly entertaining. And now that I've had time to really think about it and digest it and then watch it again, it is my favorite Final Destination movie. It does all the things I want from a Final Destination movie and balances it really, really well. They also just greenlit another Final Destination movie too, so we got more of this to come. Hopefully it'll be as fun as this one. But either way, I think this is a fantastic pick for this Saturday night. So do yourself a favor this Halloween season, pick one of the movies off of this list, grab your popcorn and your candy, and enjoy! And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. And I'll see you all next time.